Stocks swing 1,000 points in one day as the fear set in from the Fed. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very good conversation today as we've seen the stock market has been in a rut for 2022. Why is that happening? What does this mean? All these crazy swings is going on. So, we're going to talk about those circuit breakers. What are those? What do they mean? The hot inflation, the fear of the Feds, the VIX going wild, markets repeating March of 2020. What else I got down here? Crypto, anyone? And we're going to talk about the bull always win. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already and you're tuning in and watching this, or you're catching the playback, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we're ready to do. Go ahead and get ready for some investor show. Go ahead.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of our ladies, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your greatest host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. My voice is cracking up a little bit. I don't know why today. A little bit under the weather. But ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I definitely, you guys and girls don't have a lot of time. So we are going to jump straight into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we already know what's going on. We see that the stocks swing 1,000 points in one day. We saw the S&P 500 drop down all the way, not the S&P 500, but about 4 to 5% today. Stocks dropped. You saw everybody in the media, podcasters, bloggers, people said, hey, the world is coming to the end. The Federal Reserve, all that money printing, we're coming to an end, blah, 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 whatever. And then what happens? We have a major swing, turn right back around, and the markets end up. Dow Jones up, S&P 500 up, and the NASDAQ up, the three major indexes. Doesn't mean a whole lot. S&P 500 is down currently 7.5 YTD year to date. From January 1st all the way until January 24th, you were seeing the S&P 500 down 7.5%. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about also it's the return of oil and gold. Prince, why do you say this? I sat back. I got this, I wrote a piece. I'm still working on this piece. I'm going to finish it up tonight, but working on it some more tonight. I wrote a piece called Stow for Sea. All my sailors out there who knows what Stow for Sea is, hit the like button. Stow for sea is something that the captain does that he tells sailors to make sure the ship is ready for rocks and rolls inside of a ship, right? Because if, a ship doesn't stay straight on the water, ship goes back and forth. When the ship goes back and forth, it can throw equipment, it can throw all type of stuff. It can throw plates, knives, forks, and it can hit people, harm people, all those things like that. So the captain always says, leaders, make sure you stow for sea. So you see those chiefs walking around. Hey, shipmates, stow that for sea. Hey, stow that for sea, right? It's the same thing that comes down with a portfolio. When things get rocky, what do? What do sailors do on a ship when things get rocky? Majority of the time, we sit still. As I watch the market go left and right, back and forth, swinging up and down and up, inflation going up, Federal Reserve talking, Jerome Powell, all these things going on, unemployment numbers. We're in the middle of a pandemic, kind of, sort of, out of a pandemic, kind of in the pandemic. What do? We're going to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's what y'all say in the comments. What's up, Al? That's my guy. Al, thank you for tuning in, supporting the Investor Show. Michael Bob, what's going on? That's my guy, Mike. Mike, congratulations to Cincinnati for going in and getting a big win over Tennessee Titans. Shouts out to my guy. I know he's a big fan. What's going on, Mike? He says, what's up, Prince? Glad to catch you live. Thanks, man. Cool. Now, when we see this, ladies and gentlemen, everybody gets scared. As you can see the topic that I wrote here. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up. The markets are doing a repeat of March of 2020. You remember back in the day, we was going in on the longest bull run we had ever had. Started in 2008 when we had that big crash of the housing market tumbled all into these banks and companies ended up filing bankruptcy. In 2009, we bottomed out And from 2009 all the way to 2020, 11-year bull run. I've almost said bear run. 11-year bull run. The longest bull run we've ever seen it had. And everybody's wondering, when is it going to stop? When is it going to end? We're overdue. Then came around the corner in March of 2020. Well, at the end of 2019, going into 2020, we heard of this thing called COVID-19, right? So when I say COVID-19, that's what I always say. Now, when this happens, the market goes, and first people was like, whatever. Anyway, March 2020 rolls around. We see the market crash as fast as ever, causing what to be hit? Circuit breakers. Who knows what circuit breakers are, ladies and gentlemen? What are the circuit breakers? The circuit breakers are something that was instituted, don't quote me on this, I think around the 80s. This was to stop big crashes from happening in the market. So when fear set in, everybody tells you the market is ran by fear and greed. When fear sets in, when people scared, they don't know what's going on, have an uncertainty, you see the VIX go up. That's why we're going to talk about the VIX go wild. Everybody, fear start to set in, markets crash. If the markets crash at 7%, boom, they hit the circuit breakers. They make everybody take a smoke break, cool out for 15 minutes. They open market back up, boom, it went down 13%. They hit the market, they hit the breakers again. It goes down to 20%, they stop it again. Tell everybody stop, because they know when fear set in, people will sell like crazy. So what does that mean? March of 2020, let's go back to March of 2020 being on repeat. March 2020 came, the pandemic came to America. We started wearing masks. We started seeing a death counter on the news station. We started seeing people die. People didn't know what it was. We all ran into our house. We left the restaurants. Everybody was scared of what was going to happen. But guess what? Just like everything else, just like World War I, World War II, Vietnam conflict, the Gulf War conflict, what was said in 2003 when we went into Iraq, we bounced back. The market had the biggest downfall it had since 2008. At the end of 2020, we end up into double digits. I think in like 20%. Don't quote me on that in 2020. Now, here we go again. Now, here comes 2021 roll around. Everybody's all happy with the stock market. Everybody's just cheering. Woo, look at me. I'm making money. Everybody's telling me how much money they made. Everybody's telling me how much money they made. Prince, have you looked into this stock? Prince, have you seen this stock? Prince, have you seen this company? Everybody tell me how much money they made. This, ladies and gentlemen, because when we're in a bull market, everybody's a genius. And everybody calls me and say, man, I should have brought this in 2020 when the market crashed. Man, I should have brought that. Man, I should have brought this. Man, it's March of 2020. I should have brought this. I should have done this. I should have done that. Whatever, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing S&P 500 have the worst start. Here we are 24 days into the year. The S&P 500 is having the worst start it has had since, guess what? You guessed it, 2020. Prince, why are you bringing that up? I'm bringing this up because here we are again, seeing the same thing, and people are still scared. I was doing this show then. I was going live in 2020. I was going live in 2019. And I seen everybody say, oh, man, I'm so scared. I'm so scared about this. I'm so scared about that. Right? And everybody in 2021 was a genius. Cryptocurrencies hit an all-time high. We saw cryptocurrencies taking off. Real estate taking off. Everybody who has a house building up equity like crazy. Interest rates are low. People getting stimulus checks. Everybody, all you saw was the bloggers talk about how smart they was, how much money they made, how their stocks was drawing dividends, how they was trying to find the next hot thing. Now, here we are again, January 2021. Prince, why you sitting up here beating us up on history? Because if you don't know history, you will repeat itself. So, me, as a financial advisor, I study and I read a lot of history. I read history way before I was born. What was going on in the 80s? What was going on in the 70s? What happened in the 40s, the 20s, the turn of the century, the buttonwood tree. I take visits to Wall Street. Listen to some of the greatest financial minds this world has ever had to offer. Read their books. I'm not the best reader in the world, but I read. These books behind me are fake. This is a green screen. But I do have books in my office. The thing is, when investors have amnesia, we remember what we made money off of, but we forgot what we lost on. Everybody was saying, man, I wish I was alive in 2008. Man, I would have brought, man, you know what? I would have brought a house. I would have brought Nike. I would have brought an index. I would have brought a this. This company did this. All these things that went on. Now these same people are scared. I want to give y'all that lesson to be a sounding board to everybody out there. We've seen this before. Everybody's scared. Why is everybody scared? Here it is. I wish I had a spooky sound to bring this up. Tomorrow, what happens, ladies and gentlemen? You got to know what's happening. Let me bring this up. Fed fear. Federal Reserve meets tomorrow. Why is the Federal Reserve so important? Why is everyone scared of the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell? Why? Ladies and gentlemen, if you tune into the show, you should know why. Y'all should be in the comment box like or on your phones. Let me know why, and I will read that out loud. So let me see what y'all say in the comments. There we go. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. We got Let's Sip and Talk with Miss Freeman. Let's go, Prince. We appreciate you giving knowledge. What's going on? Let's Sip and Talk. Appreciate you. Over here on YouTube. Max B. Y'all give a shout out to Max B. Max B been holding me down. Max B even pushed for my books to get into. I think he's in Washington State, Seattle. So, man, I appreciate you. Max B's been holding me down, tuning into the show for years now, pushing products into place. You can't ask for nothing else better than that. One day we will meet each other. Max B, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. That's what I tell people all the time. People always ask me as a black man, hey, black people need to support each other. Max B is embodying that. I've never met Max B before. I never spoken to him on the phone, but he holds me down, and I really appreciate that because I say we have millions of black people in America. Every black person should have 100,000 subscribers. Easy. You don't even have to watch the content. You could just hit the like button. Now, you can just hit the subscribe button. That's it. You literally can go hit the subscribe button and never watch what somebody else does. And it's free. A free click. A like button or a subscribe button means so much to a content creator. And with millions of people in this country that looks like me, I should easily have 100,000. I'm not even saying a million. I just said 10% of that. I know I go and do it all the time when I can. I support as many people as I can and, helping people come up as much as I can. But Max B, appreciate you. Thank you for looking at. So y'all give a shout out to Max B. Shout out Max B. Oh, there go my guy Banky Pound. He says big shout out to my guy Prince, Teach him champ, and me too. Salute. Yes, Max B. Not Max B, but Banky. We're going to hook up. Definitely thank you. Y'all give a shout out. Banky Pound, he's over there. This guy did 33 years in prison. I think from the age of 20 years old, 33 years in prison. Now he's coming out telling his story, motivating people, telling the youth the right way, right? We need people like that to tell us who's been down that path, who's done that, who's sat behind walls for 33 years. And my goal is, I'm not going to lie, Banky got me stuck. My goal is, how do you teach someone who's done 33 years in prison about investing? But shout out, Banky Pound. Keep doing your thing, man. Alvin Will. People are fearful. Fearful is buyer's market for the low class. You're right. What's the saying? What is the saying? Buy when there's blood in the streets. Fear. The VIX. Who knows what the VIX index is? What is the VIX? This is our fear gauge, what is called on Wall Street. This is what you can see, so much fear. Do y'all see me being fearful? I'm not fearful because I know the bull will always win. The bear will have his moments. The bull was always win. I told y'all this back in March when stocks was going down and going crazy. All the dips, I said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, the bear will come out. He will roar. Rawr. I don't know the noise of a bear, kind of growl. He will growl. Everybody will get scared. Everybody gets scared. Oh my God, look at the bear. Right? But then the bear will go back in his cage and the bull will continue to win. Everybody knows this is 120 years. I'm not saying anything that's ingenious. People know this. Look at the history of the market over the last 100 years of data, right? And the reason why I believe in the American economy because we have the strongest military in the world. Shout out to everybody serving in past and present in the military to protect this great country. As long as we got the best military, I believe in our economy. As long as we got the strongest and most powerful military, I always believe in our economy. Whoever controls the guns controls the butter. Guns and butter. Al, what's going on? He said, yes, sir. Preach. I appreciate that. Clarence M. did a bunch of buying this morning. Low PE, dividend paying value stocks. Congratulations. That's smart. Congratulations to you, my guy, Clarence. He said inflation. I think he was answering my question from earlier. Clarence, you are right. It is inflation, right? This is why that's why everybody's scared of the Feds right now. Everybody's scared of the Feds because of inflation. Shout out to you for dropping that. Jim, it is inflation. Inflation hit 7%. And when inflation hit 7%, then you saw everybody is now waiting on the Federal Reserve because they know the Federal Reserve is now waiting to raise interest rates. That is right. That is right, Clarence. Clarence M. Max B says the interest rates hike plus tapering. Look at Max B. He on top of it. He is 100% right. You are 100% right, sir. Interest rates, the Federal Reserve is going to come out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I think they start meeting tomorrow. They come out on Wednesday. Now people know the Federal Reserve hands are tied. Inflation is at 7%. We're going to hit 10%, not 10%. We're going to hit double-digit inflation. Why? I did my research, and this is my opinion. Because every time, it's like when you drive down the street at 60 miles per hour, you notice you're going a little fast. So what do? Either you can slam on brakes or you can tap on the brakes. If you slam on the brakes, you're still going to slide. If you pump on the brakes, you're still going to go before you stop. So Federal Reserve, inflation is at 7%. Do you think the Federal Reserve, I'm always willing to put money on it, they're probably going to raise about 0.25. That's what Jan Yellen, who was the previous Fed chair, she always did 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. They do a little bit, see what it does, see how the market reacts, do a little bit. That's how they go, right? So right here, the Federal Reserve, they're going to raise interest rates by 0.25, and then they're going to slow up on their asset purchasing, right? Pumping money into the stock market. Just see if we can slow down inflation. So they're going to do a little bit, then they're going to wait. They're going to do a little bit, then wait. That's how they're going to do it. So I believe that right now, while they're doing this, I think inflation is going to continue to rise. The last time we seen inflation as high was 1982. Before I was born, inflation was at 13%. And what led to this was in the 60s, we got off of the gold standard. So we got off of the gold standard. That's what led us into now our dollars turned into a fiat currency, which led us into the next decade, starting to raise interest rates, starting to raise inflation. When inflation started to take off in the late 70s, going into the early 80s, you saw interest rates chasing inflation. It took a little while before interest rates had an effect on inflation. That's why I think we're going to be in double-digit inflation. We just pumped trillions of dollars. We had the largest stimulus packages this globe has ever seen, we ever done in this country. We just pumped money, all those PPP loans that people took, all those stimulus checks that everybody got, money just appeared in your accounts, all that money that just got pumped into the market, those $1 trillion plans, where did that money go? This is what's going to happen. So we're just paying the price of that. Ocean West. What's going on, Ocean West? They said, can they can make the printer go they can make the printer go brr. So yes, the Federal Reserve can now, people say this Federal Reserve, they can print money. That's what they did. They lowered interest rates in March of 2020, they lowered interest rates and they pumped money back into the market. That's why people like you and I and your neighbors and whoever, they just got money thrown at them. Hey, you own a business, get a PPP loan. Oh, you make this much money, we're just going to throw money into your account. Oh, you got a child, here's a tax credit. All these things happen, right? Hey, job. Hey, hotel. We know the hotel is going to close down, but don't close the hotel. Keep the hotel open. Don't lay off anybody, and we'll just send you millions of dollars because they wanted to keep unemployment at bay. And it worked, but everybody knows with every cause, there's an effect. Taking Tylenol every day has a side effect. Drinking too much water will have a side effect. You know, running too much will have a side effect. Even though it's good for you, it will have a side effect. Every cause has an effect. And we're dealing with the effect right now. And yes, they can print money. Max B said, he said, you the GOAT King. How could I not help? I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. We need more of that, Max B. And Max, if there's anything I can do for you, you make sure you DM me on Instagram, and I will try my best to do that. That's very rare. You see people do that. I really appreciate that. Really do. Oh, my bad there. All right. What's Banky Pound says? He said, if you aren't supporting, you aren't important. Oh, shout out Banky Pound. He said, if you aren't supporting, you ain't important. I support my brother Prince because he has the knowledge and he is humble and real. Knowledge, he said, knowledge is king. I learn everything I know by listening. Banky Pound. If y'all don't know Banky Pound, y'all go over there and check out Banky Pound. I watched Banky Pound on the After Prison show for the first time when he very first got out of prison. Like I want to say after 20 days, story was just amazing. I was just like, wow, 33 years. I'm 37 years old. So I was about 3 years old when he went into prison for that long. What do you do? How do you pick up the pieces? How do you start, picking up on everything at 53 years old, I think he said he was. How do you do that? So shout out to Banky Pound. He gives great emotional, not emotional, but motivational speaking. He talks to, a lot of things that a lot of us, he always tells us, think before you do something. Because in life, we think we got it bad. We wake up every day. He told a story of him being in solitary confinement for 4 years. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine sitting somewhere for 4 hours. I can't go sit in my bathroom for 4 hours and lay on the floor. No, I couldn't imagine doing it for 4 years. That's what makes you very appreciative of life. So, I'm definitely glad to see you here. Who we got here? Pete for Life. What's going on, Pete for Life? Phoenix, Arizona in the building. Pete Forever. Why I keep calling Pete for Life Pete Forever? What's going on, Pete Forever? Good evening. He said, I'm here. Appreciate you for being here, sir. So Max B says, so Prince, is this the time to really watch the balance sheets and making sure companies profitable if times get hard? Max, if you're reading the balance sheets right now to see if a company can make it through a hard time, you're already behind the 8 ball because you should already know. Right now, I can sleep at night. I'm not worried about nothing in my portfolio because I know what's on the balance sheets already, right? All I got to do is when the Q3 reports come out or the Q10 reports come out, just look a little bit more. Just look a little bit more to see if anything changed, right? I know what Apple has in the bank account. I know what Facebook has in the bank account. I know what I can't even think of all the companies. I know them on top of my head of, okay, I know where this company sits. I know the ones that was kind of struggling, who money was a little tight. But in these times, when interest rates rise, people who borrow a lot of money becomes more expensive to borrow. So if it's a small, unprofitable tech company, if it's a very small, unprofitable tech company that borrows a lot of money, they're the ones that's going to get hit harder because they borrow a lot of money, right? Now, people who've already borrowed money and paying it back, they got a good deal because they borrowed it at a low interest rate and now they're paying it back, right? So right now you're behind the eight ball. Yeah, I mean, we go over financial reports here. The only company is Uber. Uber just became profitable. Uber right now is $30. I spent $30 by mistake today going to go find something else. I left something at the store. I went to go pick it up and then just spit $30, saucing on the saucing on the aisle. And I said, hey, you know what? I need to buy this because I was paying my wife back. I took a thermos and I lost it. I don't know what I did with it. So I bought her 2 thermos. And I want to say it was like 40, 50. It was those nice ones. So that right there, for $30 right now, Uber, you can look at a company like Uber. Companies, let me give you an example, Max B. Look at Lyft. Lyft had a very hard time back in March of 2020, but Uber and DoorDash took off. Why did Uber and DoorDash take off, but Lyft had a hard time? Because on this show, we looked at their financial reports. We looked at their revenue streams. In which report can you see a company's revenue stream? Is it 1, the balance sheet? Is it 2, the income statement? Or is it 3, the cash flow statement? Which one of those statements did we see the revenue streams? And why was it so important? I want y'all to comment. Tell me the revenue streams of a company. Do you find that on the balance sheet, income statement, or the cash flow? We pulled that up on the show. We saw how does this company make money? Lyft makes money, but bulk of its money one way, picking you up, giving you a ride. I saw Max B got it right. Shout out Max B. It is the income statement. Congratulations, Max B. So getting back to my point, Lyft made money one way. It gave rides, and that's pretty much was it. When the pandemic hit and people wasn't going out no more, Lyft started to struggle in a major way. It was already unprofitable, right? Uber gave rides. Its ride business went down, but guess what else Uber had? Uber had Uber Eats. Uber Eats took off in the pandemic. DoorDash took off in the pandemic. Now go back and look at Lyft stock. Look at Uber stock. Look how much Lyft has declined. Lyft used to be at $70. I think that's $67 when it IPO, initial public offering. And that all came from looking at the fundamentals. Some people being there looking at the charts. Oh, they got an X, they got a B, C, D. Not saying that stuff doesn't work, but you have technical investors who utilize charts. You have fundamental investors who utilize fundamentals. The best in the world can put both of them together. That's why I love that book by Charles Payne, because he talked about placing both of them together. You're a dangerous man. Technicals tell you when to buy. Fundamentals tell you what to buy. I'm not that good to do all the charts and all the, we got an X, Y, B. I know what that stuff means, but I've tried it before. I couldn't sleep at night not understanding the technical chart. I couldn't sleep at night. I was thinking like, man, okay, it hit the X and the Y. It had the 3 candlesticks. And I even went to Japan. I went to the Yokosuka Stock Exchange, not the Yokosuka, Tokyo Stock Exchange. I was in Yokosuka. I went to the Tokyo Stock Exchange to learn about candlesticks. Candlesticks comes from Japan. I went there when I was in Yokosuka. I took a train up to Tokyo to the Tokyo Stock Exchange, took a whole tour, learned the whole process of each and every candlestick. But watching those candlesticks, I could not sleep at night thinking of a red stick, green stick, full stick, skinny stick, top, bottom. I didn't know. I like knowing what you got in the bank and where's your money coming out back and forth. And I learned that from Warren Buffett. So with that being said, you can look at companies. Lyft probably won't make it through another strong pandemic, right? Uber has multiple sources of income. Facebook is so dangerous because we all know Facebook get 90% of its money from one place. But we learn all this from the income statement. So right now, you are right. You're looking at their profit margin. And to go back to this, we're going to go into, I don't want to ramble here, but this, when we're in a high inflationary environment, what did Warren Buffett say about a high inflationary environment? All right, on my show here, I went back and read his 1982, 2 years before I was born. I read his shareholders meeting. Why? Because inflation was at 13%, double of what we were at today. In that high inflationary environment, I wonder, what did Warren Buffett have to say about investing? This is where I learned pricing power. What is pricing power? The ability to raise the price without losing market share. Take this mug here, for example. Take this little investor show mug, right? It's at $15. I sell 10 cups a month. What if I raise the price to $20? Would I sell more, less, or would I stay the same? How many companies in an inflationary environment can raise their price without losing market share? We name companies that can do that. Coca-Cola, Apple. People love Apple products. People don't even care what the Apple phone costs. They'll just buy it and throw it on in there or whatever, right? Companies that can raise their price without losing market share, people not wanting to buy from. So anyway, I don't want to beat that dead horse. There's something Uber doesn't really have. I don't think they have too much pricing power. I mean, it's a couple of times I think I was about to order some Uber Eats and saw the price. I'm like, good God Almighty. You know, I was contemplating to go drive to go get it. But that's what we have. All right. So let's see what else we got to say here. Hold on. Where? Braless Occasion. What's going on, Braless Occasion? Over there on Twitch. Yeah, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all the good stuff. He said, Braless Occasion said, it's Put City. Put City. Now, puts. Now, Braless Occasion, I think you're talking about puts as in you're talking about like calls and puts, becoming bearish on the market, betting against the market, betting on the downside. I used to get into puts and I used to do leverage bearish ETFs on certain things, industries or whatever, and I haven't made money on that. But I lost more than I made because guess what? At any moment, what happened today? The Dow Jones dropped 1,000 points. If you was in Put City, you was happy. But before the market closed, it reversed 1,000 points and went right back up and closed up 100 points. I ain't got time for that. See, when you are a bull, like myself, and you see a tornado come outside, and you see stocks flying and inflation and the Federal Reserve and interest rates and companies' profits and everybody's getting scared and all those stuff like that, I just sit back and watch everything. This is why I made an investment into gold. Gold, oil. Didn't go too crazy on oil, but gold. Every high inflationary environment, you see gold make a comeback, right? Maybe I may make a little move into gold because guess what? If I have a stock and it's up and it drops, I just have to wait out the storm. The people that owned Tesla or Apple stock in February of 2020, they were doing pretty good. Then the pandemic hits in March of 2020, their stock now is falling. If they just stayed put, didn't do anything, they're up right now. 2008, housing market, the worst housing market this country's ever seen. Housing market crash. Yes, your house went down in value, but if you held it, you're up right now in a nice way. So the thing is, when you are a bear, a bull, when you are a bull, meaning you are betting on the upside of the market over the long term, you will have some down times. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give y'all a story. I see we got 20-something people here live. Y'all hit the like button. I'll give y'all a little story time. Kind of go off segue. Preparing for sea. When you see sailors, I remember my first time ever going out to sea. I showed up, ran into a guy by the name of Senior Chief Lomax. I was my first time walking on onto the pier of the USS Albuquerque. Guy that was escorting me, he said, "Hey, this is our Cobb." He said, "Hey, Cobb, this is our new guy." He looked me in my eye. He said, "Hey, you ready to go to Spain?" I said, go to Spain? When? He was like, next month we're going to Spain. We're going to be gone for 2 months, but we're going to stop in Spain. So pack your bags. First thing that ran through my head, man, Spain. What is it like? Oh my God, what should I take? Should I take my flip-flops? Should I take my sandals? Should I take my boots? Should I take my clothes shoes? Should I wear shorts? Is it cold? Is it hot? All these things. I thought about Spain. It was summertime and I was going to Spain. Little country boy out of Waynesboro, Georgia, now going to Spain. What did I think? I just thought about Spain, 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 Spain. Now, any real sailor know. He just said we was going to be gone for 2 months. 2 months, that's 60 days. But we're only going to spend 4 days in Spain. I didn't think about the other 56 days. The other 56 days was filled with drills, exercises, drills, exercising, cleaning that sub, doing all types of drills and exercises, things like that, real world events. But guess what? Prince, what do you mean by all of this? When people invest, we only think about the stars and the moon and the upside, not realizing that majority of the time you're going to be out there investing, you're going to be experiencing downturns. Downturns are normal. It's crazy. When the market crash, my viewership goes up. Market's doing well, my viewership goes down. But guess what? 2020, I had great viewership. 2020, when the market crashed, great viewership. Once we recovered in 2021, viewership kind of went down. As soon as I saw the market crash again, my viewership was going to go straight back up. It's crazy. But people got to understand down is part of investing. Going out to sea and feeling the boat rock is part of going out to sea. My mind, I thought, I'm going to Spain. We going to Spain. Spain, 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 Spain. Now realizing that all the stuff I had to do before I got to Spain and all the stuff I had to do when I left Spain. Prince, why you telling a story? We all think about the end goal, but we don't realize that when we're on this journey, most of investing times, you will have downturns. You will have corrections in the market. You're seeing the NASDAQ go through corrections. Why the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ holds the most technology stocks. When interest rates start to go up, companies that are growth stocks usually get hit the worst. So people who made a bunch of money off of Apple, they're now selling their Apple to lock in their profits. People are, hey, let's get rid of Apple. Let me get out of Amazon. Let me lock in my profits. Right? If I lock in my profits now, when NASDAQ continues to go down, then I could jump back in at a lower price. This is what a lot of investors are thinking, because I think that way too. Banking Pound said, you were 3 when I went to prison, and now you're going to be my financial guru. Life is good. Appreciate that, Banking Pound. Appreciate it. Max B said, and because Uber does ride share food. Yeah, you're right. We're just talking about that. Al said, yes, sir. I was watching that constantly and LOL. Appreciate that, Al. Browser Cajun said, reading statements and understanding what you're seeing in the charts is good tier of trading. Yes, that's true. Markets turned around. You're right. Unpopular thought. That's my guy right there. What's going on, Unpopular thought? He says, I saw blood in the water. Double down on calls. Very smart. Now, when he says I saw blood in the water, double down on calls. So blood is red. When stocks go down, they turn red. So when you see all the major indexes go down, you see everything go down, that's called blood in the streets. Everybody's selling. It's probably some type of fear in the market. So when you see everybody fall down like that, you see the VIX go down, you see these things go down. What does that mean? When you see blood in the street, right? People look at that and say, hey, everybody's fear is setting in. What's after fear? Once everybody gets scared, greed comes in. So he's saying, hey, I double down on calls. Call options being bullish. So you can buy call options. These are options for the future, but it's a bullish trade. You're betting on the bounce back. The risk with calls is they have an expiration date. They have Greek symbols. What expiration date? Now, if you caught the market at the bottom day when it was down 1,000 points, and you brought some calls that expire on Friday, meaning they probably got a high theta, you maybe was able to get some money, almost day trade an option, right? So, yes. Now, here we go. People are fearing what the Fed's going to do. And you can tell the VIX goes wild. What is the VIX, ladies and gentlemen? What does Prince mean by the VIX go wild? You know what? I'm retarded. I meant to say wild. I'm simply, no, that's not supposed to. W-I-L-D, guys. Wild. I put up here wild. On goodness gracious, when I guess I set up the show. VIX go wild. What does that mean, the VIX? Let me pull it up while you guys and girls think about that. What is the VIX? Because I want to show y'all the VIX today. We're going to look at it today. So at a time when the market is going down and going crazy, this is the VIX. Where we at? There we go. No, I don't like that one. I like it right there. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see this is the VIX index, right? So today you saw the VIX spike up. I want to say its highest point today went up to $37. At 9:20, it was at $37. The highest point it hit was at 11:20. It went up to $38 today, meaning that it shot up $9 to $10, up about. If it went up $9, $10, about 20%. That's closer to about 30% in one day, right? Then you saw the VIX slowly creep off. Why? Beginning of the day, when the market was just falling and falling and falling, you saw the VIX go up, 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 up. The VIX, ladies and gentlemen, is the volatility index. Let's read it. The VIX is a ticker symbol and the popular name of the Colorado Board Options Exchange, CBOE Volatility Index, a popular measure of the stock market expectations of volatility based on the S&P 500 indexes. So the S&P 500 index options, this is what this is based off of. So the VIX is usually called the fear tracker. How much fear do we have? It closed at $29 today, opened up at $28, right? The highest, it went from $28, opened up at $28, and its high today was $38. So if something was $28 and it went up 10%, that's almost about 40%. The VIX went up 40% today. It tapered off at the end of the day once the market started to rebound. That tells me some type of fear is setting in, right? This is our fear gauge. That's what y'all say in the comments. Julie, what's going on? Julie said you're not retarded. What's going on, Julie? She said, I won't look at my she said, I won't look at my TD Ameritrade account till this turns around or I have more money to invest. LOL. Very smart. Very smart. She's saying, hey, I'm not even going to log in. I'm not even going to look at what I got. Because when you log in, that's when fear sets in and be like, look how much I lost. You didn't lose anything. You only lose when you sell. Right now, somebody can call me right now and say, hey, Prince, your house now is worth $100,000 less than what you brought it for. You bought it for $136,000. Your house is now only worth $300,000, right? Do you think I'm going to be like, oh my God, let me sell this thing before I lose more money? No, because real estate, I have a utility. I have a roof over my head, right? I'm not worried about it right now. Now, if I go and sell my house, I brought it for $400,000 and I sold it for $300,000 and I sell it. Yes, I lost. But if you just weather the storm, all Julia is doing is, oh my God, it's raining outside. I'm going to stay inside. Tomorrow in Denver, it's supposed to snow. It's 90% chance of snow. You think I'm going to go outside and just play in the snow? No. I'm going to stay inside, wait till the snow is done, wait till the roads are clean, and then I'm going to go back out. That's what Julie says she's going to do. There you go, people. Like, he got it right. He said the volatility index. He said it's the fear indicator. There you go. So the fear indicator jumped up 40% during the peak of the market today, around about 40%. And Julie says crypto is my focus right now. You know what? We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to get into crypto here in a second. Now, right here, he said it's the fear and greed hit 41. Oh, it hit 41, maybe. I'm sorry about that. That's almost 50%. Max B got it. Julie says, wow, VIX, who knew? So you learn something new every day. That's another gem you got. It's another gem you got. Clarence M said, I opened up a Robinhood account and I'm considering buying some Bitcoin on a dip. I never touched crypto before. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. I got a little segment here called Crypto Anyone? Crypto. Why did I call this Crypto Anyone? Because guess what? Y'all remember when she went crazy? She went way up. I have Sheep and New, and I told everybody it was my lottery ticket, and everybody was like, you don't know it's not a lottery ticket, man. You got to know what's. Everybody went off on me, right? So, but I really didn't understand what it was, but I had some of it was so dirt cheap. Like right now, I would buy some digital real estate, but I'm not going to buy it for $20,000. If it was $100, maybe $200, maybe even $500, I'll probably buy some because I really don't understand it. I really don't know what it is. So, and I'm not going to put $10,000, $15,000, $16,000 on digital real estate, not because I don't think it's a good investment, because I don't have the level of understanding to know what it is. When I can take that same $16,000 and buy a couple acres of land in Colorado, Mississippi, Alabama, right? So that's my thing. Now let's get back to crypto. Now, with crypto, do I believe in crypto? Yes. I'm going to give y'all something. The Federal Reserve is actually the stable coin thing. The Federal Reserve is making some strong approaches. I already told you, our Federal Reserve is going to copy cryptocurrency to make its own. It cannot utilize or does not want to utilize something it does not have control over. We don't know who's behind Bitcoin. We don't know who's behind a lot of these things. So the government's probably working right now. It is working right now to create its own. And when it does create its own, what is it going to do to the current crypto market? Will it make more people run to the current crypto market? Will it make people leave the Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever and go to the U.S. government one, right? Because people can trust into it. Our government would be very foolish to put their money into something they don't know. We're a first world country. I hope we got enough common sense. We don't even know who the owner of Bitcoin is. We don't even know what the Bitcoin headquarters is. How are we going to put our whole backing system on that? That's crazy. So I appreciate the government. Round of applause to the government for taking the time out to understand and to create their own cryptocurrency that they're going to do. So with that being said, now that you've seen crypto get beat up, crypto is down. I think it's down 50. I don't know. I think Bitcoin is at $30,000, $35,000. Last year, I think it went up to 65, almost $70,000. So it's gone off. It fell off about 50% from last year. And you saw everybody say, oh man, last year, everybody was a genius. Look at my crypto. I told y'all, look at my crypto. Look at my sheep. Look at my Doge. Look at my Elon. Look at my sheep killer. My Doge. But I couldn't even log on. I couldn't pick up my phone without somebody shooting me another cryptocurrency or something like that. I said, man, I see these things as lottery tickets. I really don't know. I really don't understand. Now, over the last 30 to 60 days, that cryptocurrency has gone down. You've seen those people get very, very, very quiet. I'm not as bullish as I am with stocks, because stocks, I understand the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, things like that. Cryptocurrency, I don't go on a buying spree. I buy a little bit of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin every month, right? I believe in Ethereum. Why? Ethereum, I really saw the value in Ethereum with NFTs. I created NFTs for my book series. And I saw that is backed and utilized by using Ethereum. You cannot go in there and use US dollars. You have to convert your dollars into Ethereum. And Ethereum is used as the currency on the blockchain for NFTs. Now, I do have, like, I think another one called Plyon, whatever. But the major one is Ethereum. When I saw that, I said, wow, okay, Ethereum has a utility. And I see Ethereum, or ETH, some people like to call it, moving around, and it's moving around in a very stable way. So right now, I would be bullish on Ethereum because I see it has a utility. Oh, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Almost knocked my microphone out of my hand. I need to stop moving my hands all around. Let me see what People Life here is saying. People Life said, I will not touch any crypto. There's no underlying value. Gold, silver, copper, energy may be a better hedge. What is crypto backed by? Is it on the federal government balance sheet? No, it's not. That we know of. I think the federal government is going to look to do what you call it. But that you said gold, silver, copper, it sounded like you listened to our episode with James, James Fortland. Shout out James Fortland. But he was talking about that. James been around since the 70s. I always like to talk to those old heads to see what's going on. And every time we have high inflation and markets crashing, you see oil prices and you see gold prices going up. People like to hold things that has value, copper, oil. You know, people like oil, they like copper, right? You can diversify yourself into that with IAU. I like to use IAU, but you can use GLD, or you can use some bullish ETFs. Please do your own research. Just giving you guys ideas, things that are out there. But you're right. When you look at it from a financial standpoint, you don't see cryptocurrencies really produce. Like I see Ethereum. Now, all these random coins out here, this one and this coin and the blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I can't say. But the ones I know that has raw value is gold, silver, oil. They do very well in high inflation down economies, especially if Russia pop off with Ukraine. You're going to see oil prices have a nice little jump, right? So I can understand that, and I would agree to a certain degree, but you got to do what's comfortable for you. The reason why people buy cryptocurrency is because it's on your phone, it's very accessible, and it's very dirt cheap. But you don't see many people talking about it anymore. Why is that? I still have the sheep. I didn't sell anything because to me it was just gambling money of like, okay, what if they were lottery tickets, and it's still lottery tickets. When they were up 300%, 400%, they were lottery tickets. Now that they're down 100, 200%, they're still lottery tickets, in my opinion. Hey, it is what it is. Let me see what else I want to talk to you guys and girls about before I got out of here. Guys and girls, this one I'll leave y'all with. Over time, the bull will always win. Keep that in mind. The bull will always win. The reason why I say this is with all the ups and downs of the economy, when we was on a gold standard, we had periods of high inflation, unemployment. We think inflation now is high. Imagine double-digit inflation, which we're probably headed to. We had high inflation. We went to wars. We had presidents assassinated. We've had people bomb Pearl Harbor and invade our American soil. All type of things went on in America. We know civil rights movements going on. People trying to overthrow companies and all this craziness going on. Even a pandemic. America always wins. Never bet against America. Why am I so bullish on America? Ladies and gentlemen, I served in the United States Navy, still serving. In June, to be 19 years. I'm retiring this year after 20 years of service. From 18 years old, and I'll be 38 when I'm done at the end of this year. And the thing about it is I travel around the world. As long as we have the strongest military in the world, I am bullish on the U.S. economy. Because we got the power to make the rules, do what we want to do. And who's going to check us? Who's going to come over and tell us, hey, man, you're doing that wrong? Who's going to tell the federal? What other entity outside of America is going to stop us? When that happens, that's when I'll bite my nails. But until that point, shouts out to all the veterans, people who serve, currently serving. As long as we have the strongest economy, as long as we have the strongest military in the world, we're going to have the strongest economy. You go back over any ancient time, a person who had all the resources versus a person who had all the guns. How did that story end? Country A got all the guns. Country B got all the resources. How did that story always end? Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not a historian. I'm not going to go into that. But since we have the strongest military, we're the ones who make the rules, and ain't nobody going to check us. Right? So let me see what y'all saying before I roll up out of here. Now I don't say that about 5 times. Papa thought, I think he's the only one that said something here. Okay. He said, I doubled down on sheep. I turned 1K into 20K, took some profits. Should have took moat should have took more in hindsight, waiting for the ride back up. Good job, man. Good job. Congratulations to you. Ching ching. Counting them, from what he said, from $1,000 to $20,000, I think he said. Hey, nice. Good job. Make sure you pay your taxes. Make sure you pay your taxes tax season. But anyway, ladies and boys and girls and children age, I thank y'all for tuning in for me tonight. Hope y'all got something out of this episode. I really enjoyed this live chat, going back and forth, talk with me. You guys are the ones that keep me relevant. You guys keep me sharp. You guys keep me thinking. And we got 20-some people in here. Make sure while you're rolling in here, you hitting that like button and subscribe button. You checking out the podcast. And also, make sure you checking out this book series, Wesley Learns. Make sure y'all checking out that book series. I mean, y'all probably can't see some of it because of the coloring. But check out that book series, Wesley Learns. The colors are bouncing off my shirt with the lights and stuff. So it's kind of being transparent. Wesley Learns to Invest. Wesley learns about credit. And Wesley learns about insurance. Teaching your kids, introducing them to the world of investing, credit, and insurance at a very young age. Also, check out the cartoons that we produced. And I hope you guys and girls have a nice night. And I'll see you guys the next time. Into the next video, podcast, cartoon, whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe. Y'all know my name is Prince Dykes. Hold on one second. Clarence says, thank you for your service. I'm ex-Army. Okay. Hey, I appreciate that, Army. Wrong branch, but you was cool. You was cool. Shout out to you for your service, Clarence. Yeah, LJ said, man, I'm late. I hate that I'm watching the playback. Appreciate that, LJ. Always holding me down. Appreciate that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, to the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe. Peace. Be safe. I'm out, and thank you.